The year was 1939. The world watched in horror as the shadow of war engulfed Europe once more. Canada, a young nation still finding its footing on the world stage, heeded the call. From bustling cities to quiet prairie towns, a collective spirit of determination arose. Men enlisted, ready to face the perils of the battlefield. But the call to duty resonated far beyond the front lines. Canada needed all its citizens to secure victory. Women, often relegated to the sidelines of society, found themselves thrust into new roles. They became the backbone of the home front. Women embraced unfamiliar jobs, their courage and resilience echoing in factories and shipyards across the nation. The war had irrevocably transformed the social fabric of Canada, forever altering the lives of its citizens, particularly its women. Mary Carter, a young woman from rural Nova Scotia, embodied the spirit of her generation. Life had not been easy for Mary. She was raised in a modest farmhouse, the eldest of 5 children. Hard work and sacrifice were woven into the fabric of her days. News of the war reached their small community, casting a somber pall over their lives.
Despite my youth, I felt a deep sense of responsibility to contribute. I yearned to make a difference, to be a part of something larger than myself. When I learned of opportunities for women in factories, I didn't hesitate. Leaving the familiarity of my home, I boarded a train bound for Montreal, my heart filled with a mixture of trepidation and unwavering resolve.
Montreal throbbed with a frenetic energy. The city, once known for its commerce and culture, had been transformed into a hub of wartime production. Factories working day and night churned out munitions, aircraft parts, and supplies desperately needed by soldiers overseas. Mary found herself amidst a sea of women, all united by a common purpose.
The work was arduous and dangerous. The air hung heavy with the scent of oil and metal shavings. The deafening roar of machinery filled our ears, a constant reminder of the urgency of our task. Long hours blurred into weeks, then months. Exhaustion became a constant companion, yet I persevered. I knew that every shell casing I inspected, every rivet I secured, brought us a step closer to victory.
As the months turned into years, a quiet determination began to burn within Mary. She witnessed firsthand the inequalities faced by women in the factories. The pay was significantly lower than what men earned for comparable work. Safety measures were often inadequate, leading to accidents and injuries.
I saw the injustices and knew something had to change. I began to speak out, first in hushed tones with my fellow workers, then with growing confidence to foremen and supervisors. I advocated for fair treatment, for safer working conditions, for the recognition of our invaluable contributions to the war effort.
Mary's words, though spoken softly, carried the weight of conviction and resonated deeply with us.
Her courage inspired many, and we began to see the seeds of change take root in our midst. Section 5. Small Victories, Enduring Hope, the Power of Collective Action. Mary's courage proved contagious. Inspired by her unwavering spirit, other women began to add their voices to hers.
We organized informal meetings during lunch breaks, sharing stories of hardship and finding strength in solidarity.
We drafted petitions, demanding better pay and improved safety protocols.
The factory walls, once echoing only with the din of machinery, now reverberated with the nascent power of collective action. Their efforts, though met with resistance from some quarters, were not entirely in vain. Small victories were achieved, safety measures were gradually improved, and a modest pay raise was granted. More importantly, a sense of empowerment began to take root among the women. They had discovered the strength of their collective voice, a realization that would have profound implications long after the war ended. Section 6. Beyond the Battlefield, the Unfinished Fight for Equality. As the war drew to a close, a wave of relief washed over the nation. But for Mary and countless other women, the fight was far from over.
With the return of men from the battlefields, many women were expected to relinquish their jobs and resume their traditional roles in the home. The progress we had made, the sacrifices we had endured, seemed at risk of being forgotten.
Mary refused to let their hard-won gains be erased. She joined women's organizations advocating for equal pay, access to education and training, and an end to discriminatory practices.
I wrote letters to newspapers, gave speeches at community halls, and tirelessly championed the cause of women's equality. The war had irrevocably changed the lives of Canadian women, and I was determined to ensure that those changes would endure.
Section 7. Mary's Legacy and Echo Through Generations. Mary Carter's story, though fictional, reflects the very real experiences of countless Canadian women during and after World War II. Their contributions to the war effort were nothing short of essential.
We challenged societal norms, shattered glass ceilings, and paved the way for future generations of women to pursue their dreams and aspirations.
Mary's legacy lived on, not in statues or grand monuments, but in the hearts and minds of those she inspired. Her story served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, ordinary individuals can make an extraordinary difference.
My unwavering spirit, my commitment to justice, and my belief in the power of collective action continued to resonate, echoing through the decades and inspiring future generations of Canadian women to fight for a more just and equitable society.
Section 8. The Unsung Triumph. Women's Enduring Impact on Canada. The Second World War marked a turning point in Canadian history, igniting profound social transformations. Women, thrust into non-traditional roles, rose to the challenge with courage and resilience. They proved their mettle, shattering the myth of female fragility. Their contributions extended beyond the war effort. They challenged societal norms, demanding equal treatment and recognition. Their fight laid the groundwork for later feminist movements. The legacy of these heroines shapes Canada today, a testament to their enduring impact. Their stories remind us that progress requires struggle, and the fight for equality is a relay race.